Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
As per the schedule, I am supposed to teach Indian government and process, IGP. Indian government and politics starts with the evolution of Indian constitution.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir.
Now is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rahim?
So slow, sir. It's so slow.
Okay, okay, madam. ఇది ఆన్ చేయబో the volume and consists of volume. It's working. Right. Let it do that.
Jhansi madam, please mute yourselves.
Very good evening, friends.
What's the disturbance?
Will you mute just Will you please mute your Today, the Indian government and politics. This is called Indian political process. Indian political process describes about the structure of the Indian government, the salient features of the Indian constitution, various phases in the Indian nationalist movement, and what are the contemporary issues in Indian government and politics. There are 5 blocks here, as we all know that. In the first block, it discusses about the nationalist movement in India and the evolution of Indian constitution and various philosophical foundations that are there in the Indian constitution. In the first unit, it is a discussion about the nationalist movement in India. The nationalist movement is it clear, sir? Hello?
Clear, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Indian national movement started in 1885 with the formation of Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress has spearheaded the nationalist movement in India. Indian National Congress has fought for Indian constitution, Indian independence for almost 63 years. And in these 63 years, it has changed so many phases that we describe it in the Indian first chapter, Indian government and politics first chapter. After that, we'll be discussing about various laws that were contributed for the growth of Indian constitution. 1909 Act, 1919 Act, and 1935 Act. After that, we'll also be discussing about the philosophical foundations of the Indian Constitution. So, in Indian political process, actually the title of the paper is Indian Political Process. In the Indian political process, we have so many chapters. It is broadly divided into 5 blocks. In the first block, there is a description about the Indian independence, Indian constitution, various features, and the philosophical foundations of the Indian constitution. This is all related to the first block. In the second block, we have a discussion on the structure of central government and on the structure of the state government. In the central government, we have legislature, executive, and judiciary. In the legislature, it discusses about the Indian Parliament. In the executive, it discusses about the Indian President, Indian Vice President, Indian Prime Minister, and other functionaries. And likewise, in the judiciary, we discuss about the Indian Supreme Court. So in the second block, we'll be discussing about the structure of the government. We have 3 types of governments in India: the central government, the state government, and the local self-government. In the second block, there is a discussion on central government, state government, central legislature, executive, and judiciary. And likewise, there is also a discussion on judiciary. Judiciary means Indian Supreme Court. Likewise,
चल रही मेरी
సార్
क्लास
మీరు అందరిని మ్యూట్ చేయండి సార్.
అమ్మ అందరూ మ్యూట్ లో పెట్టుకోండి.
ज्यादा बता
ఓకేనమ్మా? సో దీంట్లో 5 బ్లాక్స్ ఉంటాయమ్మా. There is a first block, second block, third block, fourth block, and fifth block. So ఈ 5 blocks లో మళ్ళీ in each block there are 2 lessons. So total we have to complete 10 lessons in almost 10 classes. So ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ ఈ రోజు we'll be discussing about the syllabus and the first chapter. Syllabus లో there are 5 blocks. The first block is about the Indian national movement, Indian constitution, and the philosophical foundations of Indian constitution. ఇదంతా కూడా మనకు ఫస్ట్ బ్లాక్ లో ఉంటుంది. In the second block, there is a discussion on the central government. Central government అంటే there are 3 branches in central government: legislature, executive,
judiciary.
ఈ మూడింటి గురించి కూడా మనకి దాని మీద డిస్కషన్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. In the central legislature, we discuss about Indian Parliament, the structure of the Parliament, the powers of the Parliament, the functions of Parliament, and who presides over the Parliament: Lok Sabha Speaker, Deputy Speaker, President, Vice President. So these things we discuss in Indian Parliament. In fact, Vice President presides over the meetings of Rajya Sabha. President summons the Parliament. There are 3 sessions, Parliament sessions in a year: budget session, rainy session, and winter session. Parliament has 2 houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So this we discuss in the second chapter. And likewise, there is also a discussion on Indian judiciary. In the Indian judiciary, Supreme Court. Supreme Court, the structure of the Supreme Court, the powers of the Supreme Court, and various other things. So, hello?
Sir, excuse me,
Yes,
sir. I got this political science, Indian political processes, in which I got this block number 1 is politics in India. Second block is social factors. But you are saying something other than that, no, sir?
सेमेस्टर थर्ड का पोर्शन पढ़ा है सर आप ये
अच्छा फोर्थ सेमेस्टर का फर्स्ट ब्लॉक क्या है
Politics in India, social factors.
Second block. First block क्या है?
Political in India.
Politics in India.
Politics in India. Second block?
Social factors. Third block?
Constitutional commissions.
Emma?
Constitutional
commissions. Fourth block?
Statutory commissions.
No, statutory commission. Fifth block?
State politics
in India.
State politics in India. So these are the 5 blocks. Okay, Nama? Unless I tell you about the third semester syllabus, you cannot understand the fourth semester syllabus. There is a linkage between third semester and fourth semester. That's why today is the first class. I am just giving you the introduction. So in the third semester, we have discussed about the 5 blocks. In each block, we have discussed about Indian national movement, Indian constitution, various factors of Indian constitution, how the Britishers have made various laws, 1909 Act, 1919 Act, 1935 Act, and what are the provisions of the constitution, what are the articles of the constitution, what are the philosophical foundations in the constitution. That is all in the third chapter, third semester. And likewise, in the third semester, we have also studied about the central government, the central legislature, the central executive, and central judiciary. And in the fourth block, third block, we have discussed about the state government, state governor, chief minister, state assembly, state high court, and everything. And likewise, in the fifth block, we have discussed about the local self-governments. The local self-governments are the governments that are at the village level, Gram Panchayats, Mandal Praja Parishad, Jilla Parishad, and everything. So the third chapter discusses about the structure of the government, central government, state government, and third, local self-government. In the fourth semester, we'll be discussing about the political process in India. The political process in India, in which there are 5 blocks. The first block is about the Indian politics. What are the contemporary issues in Indian politics and everything. And the second block is about the social factors. The social factors that influence the Indian politics. What are the social factors we have? Caste, religion, language, region, gender, education. These are various social factors that influence Indian politics. So that is in the second block. And likewise, there are statutory commissions and non-statutory commissions. There are various commissions. In these commissions, we have National Scheduled Caste Commission, National Scheduled Tribes Commission, National Human Rights Commission, National Commission for Women, National Commission for Minorities, National Commission for Backward Classes, National Official Language Commission, National Judicial Commission, National Finance Commission, National Human Rights Commission. So these are various commissions. These commissions can be classified into 2 types. One is statutory commissions. The other one is other commissions. Statutory commissions are mentioned in the Constitution, or the statutory commissions are formed with the help of a law passed by the Parliament, whereas non-statutory commissions are formed only with the recommendations of Prime Minister and his cabinet. So they are called as non-statutory commissions. So in our second year syllabus, fourth semester syllabus, we have statutory commissions and non-statutory commissions. And likewise, we also have state politics in India. in various states, there are regional political parties. So the regional political parties form part of the state politics in India. So this is broadly the third semester and fourth semester syllabus. Now today we'll be discussing about the politics, Indian politics and Indian political process. In the Indian political process, we discuss about Indian political system and various functionaries and various processes that are there in Indian politics. The first process that Indian government and politics is elections. Elections is an important process. In the elections, people elect their governments, the central government, state government, and local governments. So how people elect the governments and what is the right to vote and how people vote in the elections is the crux of the first block that discusses the Indian politics. So in Indian politics, the first part is, it's about the election commission, electoral reforms, and also electoral process and everything. In India, elections are started in 1909. In 1909, when Britishers were there in India, elections were started in India. And at that time, they have introduced the concept of elections in India. But not all the people are given the right to vote. Only certain people who are educated, who are paying the taxes to the government, are only given the right to vote. And after that, in 1919 elections, in 1919, there is another act called Indian Government Act of 1990. In that act, it has provided the right to vote to a more number of people. Likewise, in 1935 Act, a good number of people are given the right to vote. But the Indian Constitution, which came into force in 1950, has given more voting rights. It has given voting rights to more number of people. According to Article 326 of the Constitution, any person who has crossed the age of 18 years by every January 1st has a right to enlist himself as a voter, and in the elections, he has the right to vote. He has the right to vote in the elections. So this is how the right to vote is given to all the Indian citizens in Article 326 of the Constitution. So the first chapter discusses broadly about the Indian electoral process. In the electoral process, we have elections. Second one is by-elections. General elections means if elections are held to all the Lok Sabha seats, that is called general elections. Likewise, if elections are held to all the assembly seats in a state government, that is called a general election. But sometimes the members may resign, or some members may die, or some members may be disqualified. In such a case, vacancy arises. To fill the vacancies, the Election Commission again conducts elections. That is called by-election. By-election. So elections are of two types. One is the general elections. The second one is the by-elections. Now let us see what are the functions of Election Commission. The functions of Election Commission are nearly 6 functions. The first function is it prepares the voters list. It prepares the voters list of all the people who have crossed the age of 18 years. And they enable them to right to vote. So this is the first and foremost function of the Election Commission. Election Commission, Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
So, Election Commission of India it prepares the voters list and it enables all the people to participate in the electoral process. This is the first function. The second function is the Election Commission of India recognizes the political parties and classify them into three types: national political parties, regional political parties, and sub-regional political parties. So these are the three types of political parties in every country. So Election Commission of India, it classifies the political parties. That is the second important function of the political parties, the Election Commission. And thirdly, the Election Commission of India conduct the elections. It conducts the elections. So that is the third important function of the political parties. The third important function of the Election Commission. The first function is it provides the right to vote to all the people, and it prepares a voters list of all the people who have crossed the age of 18 years by every January 1st and enable them to right to vote. This is the first function. The second function is it classifies the political parties into three different types: national political parties, regional political parties, and sub-regional political parties. So there are three types of political parties in our Indian political system. But there are 7 national political parties in India: Indian National Congress, BJP, Communist Party of India, Marxist Party of India, Bahujan Samaj Party, National Congress Party, Trinamool Congress. These are the 7 political parties which are considered as national political parties in India. Likewise, we have around 56 regional political parties. TRS Party, Telugu Desam Party. Likewise, we have ISRCP, Majlis Party, and likewise Shiva Sena, Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, AIADMK, Akali Dal. So these are called as the regional parties. So the second most important function of Election Commission is to classify the political parties into three types. The first one is national political parties. The second one is
regional party.
Regional parties. Third one is
sub-regional
parties. Sub-regional parties. Okay, Nama? So this is the second function. Third function is the Election Commission conducts the elections. It conducts the elections. It conducts the parliamentary election. It conducts the assembly elections, and it releases the schedule. It releases the schedule with the dates on which date elections are to be held. For example, the Election Commission of India has released a schedule for the Huzur Nagar by-election. So this is one example. Likewise, the Huzur Nagar by-election, there is a schedule, and the Election Commission of India has declared that on October 30th, the election will be held. So it declares the dates, from which date to which date nominations are to be held, from which date to which date campaigning has to be taken place, on which date elections are to be held, on which date counting of votes are to be done. So likewise, it declares different dates. So these different dates are called as election schedule. So the Election Commission of India declares election schedules and it conducts the elections. That is the third important function of the Election Commission of India. And likewise, fourthly, the Election Commission of India issues electoral identity cards. Electoral identity cards. So for all the persons who exercise their right to vote, it provides them the electoral identity cards. It provides identity cards to all the voters to vote. At the time of voting in a polling booth, all the polling officers demand the voters to show some witness that they are the voters. So you can take the driving license, or you can take the PAN card, or you can take the Aadhaar card, or you can take the bank account passbook, or you can take a passport, or you can take the electoral identity cards. So Election Commission of India provides electoral identity cards to all the voters. So that is the fourth important function of the Election Commission of India. And fifthly, the Election Commission of India maintains law and order during the times of elections. During the times of elections, there is every possibility of violence because there is a conflict between political parties, disputes may arise, and each political party want to have more influence on the people. That's why some people may resort to violence. So Election Commission of India, it deploys the armed forces. It deploys the armed forces and it gives instructions to the police forces on law and order problems. It maintains the law and order during the times of elections. So this is the fifth important function of Election Commission. And lastly, the Election Commission also observes how much money is spent in elections. If any person is spending more money in illegal manner, then it can declare his candidature as disqualified. So the Election Commission sets certain money limit. Assembly elections, any person can send up to 10 lakh of rupees. You can spend only 10 lakhs rupees for assembly elections. Likewise, for parliamentary elections, he can spend about 50 to 60 lakhs. So that is the money limit, maximum limit. After that, if any person spends more money by luring the voters or giving bribes to the voters, the Election Commission take note of it and it suspends the candidates from contesting the elections. So these are the functions of the Election Commission of India. Election Commission of India has various functions. Among them, 6 functions are very important. So with these 6 functions, the Election Commission conduct the elections. So conducting elections in India is called as the electoral process. This is called as the electoral process. By strictly following the constitutional provisions and strictly implementing the laws, the Election Commission conduct the elections. This is called as the electoral process in India. Again, in the same chapter, we also discuss about electoral reforms. What is electoral reforms? There are so many inadequacies and loopholes in our electoral system. There are so many loopholes in our electoral system. There are so many inadequacies. There are certain weaknesses in our electoral system. That's why the Election Commission suggested some electoral reforms in the system. So as a matter of reform, the first point is the Election Commission of India, it wanted to give votes only to genuine voters who are genuine. That's why it provides electoral identity cards to all the people. Suppose if any person with any name come and vote in a particular election, though he has no vote, that is called a fake vote. So the Election Commission tries to control the fake votes, fake voting, malpractices in fake voting, in voting patterns. That's why it provides identity cards to all the voters. This is one thing. Secondly, the Election Commission also monitor as a matter of reform that no money can be spent in the elections. Likewise, the caste name or religion name should not be used during the elections. So that is how the caste name or religion name should not be used during the elections. It controls people from using the caste or from using the religion in the electoral process. I'm just broadly telling the first chapter. I'll come out with some important questions tomorrow, and we have classes up to 10-15 days. We definitely have discussion on each and every question, long answer questions and short answer questions. And I'm just broadly giving you the syllabus and the contents of the syllabus today. It's only an introductory class. So that's why I am just touching upon all the points. So tomorrow I'll tell you the page numbers and also the modes of writing the answers for different questions. So in today's class, we'll be discussing more about the elections, electoral process, and the electoral reforms in India. So in India, there are so many problems during elections. The first problem here is violence. How to contain violence in the elections. That's why the government always tries to bring police forces and armed forces during the times of elections in all the constituencies. So this is one thing where the election commission conducts the elections in a peaceful manner without the police force. Hello? Amma, will you please kindly mute your connections?
Yes, sir.
So this is one thing. And likewise, there are certain social and economic factors that influence the electoral behavior. The first one is caste. Caste is one of the important factors that influence the Indian politics. There are castes everywhere. Caste can be divided into three different types: the upper caste, the lower caste, and a middle caste. Of course, there are 3,000 or so castes are there in Indian society. In fact, Indian society is the only society in the world that has a strict caste system. But the caste is against the constitution. So caste is anti-constitutional and illegal. So that's why the name of the caste cannot be used during the times of elections. If any person tries to use the caste, his election can be set aside. So that's why caste is one important factor that influences the Indian politics. How caste is influencing the Indian society? While campaigning and while giving tickets for contesting the elections, different political parties see the caste calculations and accordingly they give the tickets. Suppose if any constituency has more number of scheduled caste people, the population of scheduled caste is there in more numbers in a particular constituency, political parties give tickets to the scheduled caste person to contest in the elections. The Congress party, the BJP or TRS or all the parties, they prefer to give tickets to the candidate whose caste population is more. So this is how caste influences the voting pattern. And likewise, there are caste associations. There are also various caste associations in Indian society. These caste associations also, they directly or indirectly support some political parties in Indian society. So this is the second influence of caste on Indian society. And thirdly, after the elections, in giving the ministries, in taking the ministers, and some chief ministers and prime ministers, they prefer to give portfolios and ministries to dominant castes in the society. The scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes, the other backward castes, the forward castes. So these caste people are given more tickets and more ministries in their ministries. So this is how caste is an important factor that influences the Indian politics. This is one thing. Secondly, language. Language is also another important social factor that influences the Indian society. In fact, there are around 22 languages in the Indian society. There are many languages, but according to 8th schedule of the Constitution, there are only 22 languages that are recognized in the Indian Constitution. And these languages are spoken in different areas, particularly in the South India. We have Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and likewise we have the Kannada. These are the main languages that are spoken. And likewise in Maharashtra, we have Maratha. In Gujarat, the Gujarati. And likewise in Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and we have Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, in other places. Hindi is spoken in many states. So generally, the caste and religion and language, these are the three dominant factors that influence the elections. So during the times of elections, the political parties promises the voters that if they come to power, they develop the language of that particular area. So some languages in India are very old, like Tamil. It has 1,000 years of old. And Telugu, it is almost 1,000 years of old. And like Sanskrit, it has almost 5,000 years of old. In fact, Sanskrit is considered as mother of all the languages. And likewise, we have Urdu, we have Arabic, we have various languages like Gujarati, Marathi, and other languages. So these languages are also given importance by political parties during the times of elections. So the people who speak these languages are settled in different parts of the country. Suppose the people who are from Punjab are settled in Hyderabad. So Punjabis, there are around 10,000 votes are there of Punjabis in Hyderabad. So the political parties give ticket to one Punjabi to contest in the elections to get all the Punjabi votes. So likewise, there is Kannada, there is Telugu, there is Malayalam, there is a Maratha, there is Gujarati. Likewise, there are a good number of languages that are there in the Indian society. So language is also another important factor that influence the electoral process in the Indian society. And likewise, we also have religion. Religion is an important factor that influences the Indian society. In fact, in India, there are 7 religions. There are 7 broad religions in Indian society. Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Sufism. These are the major languages that are there in the Indian society. During the times of elections, religion also plays a part. In fact, some of the political parties in India are also formed on religious lines. Take, for example, All India Majlis Ittehadul Muslimin, Majlis Party. It is based on Muslim ideology. And likewise, there are certain Christian political parties. There are also political parties who are on Hindutva ideology, like Shiva Sena, BJP. So these are all on Hindutva ideology. So language is an important factor. Religion is also another important factor that influence the politics. Generally, if a more number of a particular religion, a more number of people are residing in a particular area belonging to one religion, all the political parties tend to give seats, tend to give tickets to that political or that religious group. For example, in Secunderabad, there are a good number of Muslims are there. So a Muslim candidate is given the Congress party ticket. Or a good number of Hindus are there. A Hindu candidate may be given seat or nomination ticket by BJP likewise. So likewise, political parties, while distributing the tickets to contest in the elections, they give preference to religion also. Religion also plays a part in influencing the Indian politics. This is another important aspect. And likewise, religious modes are used during the times of campaigning. Take, for example, in Telangana society. Telangana society, we have Batukama as a main religious festival. So as a mark of Batukama, we keep some parts on the head and we keep some neem leaves on the parts and everything. So we make a big procession on Batukama thing. So the same kind of tradition is followed during elections also. During elections, a Bratukama procession is being made so that the Hindu votes can be influenced. So this is how religion and religious practices are also used by political parties to muster the votes. They muster the votes, they mobilize the votes on the basis of religion. So religion is an important factor that influences the electoral process in Indian society. There are 7 religions, as I've told you: Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism is there. There are also other religions like Jews, Sufis, and various other religious sects are also there. But in the overall picture, we have Hinduism, Islam, Christianity. These are the 3 major religions. And most of the people belong to these 3 religions. For example, in Indian society, nearly 85 crores of people belong to Hindu religion, and 20 crores belong to Muslim religion, and nearly 15 to 17 crores belong to Christianity. So the political parties try to influence these religions and muster their votes from the people who follow the same religion. So this is also another important factor. Religion, political parties use religion to influence religion and get the votes from the people who follow the religion. In fact, using religion, caste, or money is anti-constitutional, is against the constitution, is against the law. But political parties use that. Political parties use the religion, political parties use the caste, political parties use the language, political parties use the family as important social factors, and that influence the electoral system in India. Money is also another important factor. Some political parties during the times of electoral campaigns, they also discuss about, they also loot the electorate with their money and money campaigns. They buy the votes and they give corruption. They follow corrupt methods by giving money to the voters and everything. So this is how money is also another important and powerful medium to muster votes in the Indian society. So money, of course, the influence of money is very stringent and very distinguished this thing. Nobody can deny the role of money in elections, either in America or in Australia or in Africa or Europe or in Indian society. Everywhere money is an important medium of influencing the electoral system. But Indian society, the influence of money is much more rampant. In other countries, there is always the voluntary organizations and non-governmental organizations, they always watch how political parties are spending. And if any political party is spending more money, they file a complaint against that and file cases in different courts, in different judicial courts. But Indian society, that kind of system is not there. And political parties spend money very lavishly and influence the political functionaries and also voters, and they muster votes. So this is how the electoral system in India is influenced by many factors. The first factor is the caste. The second factor is the religion. The third factor is the language. The fourth factor is money. The fifth factor is family. Family is also another important factor that influences the Indian society. In fact, there are 2 types of families, as we all know. The joint families and the nuclear families. The joint families are those families in which there are 2 or 3 generations of families live in the same residence. That is called as a joint family. The cooking pattern is same, the dressing pattern is same, the lifestyles are same, and they live in the same houses. That's called as a joint family. Against to this, if father, mother, or 1 and 2 children live separately, that is called as a nuclear family. So, in every state in India, there are joint families and there are nuclear families. So the influence of these families is also very much rampant in Indian politics. Generally, the joint families are affiliated to different political parties. There are Congress families, there are BJP families, there are communist families, there are Majlis Party families. So the whole family is affiliated to one political party. That's how the political party always influences the family and gets its votes for generations together. In India, many families, hundreds of families still believe that it is only the Congress party that brought independence to India. So they must vote for Congress party for their whole lifetime. So that's also one kind of sentiment that is there in their families. And some parties believe it is only the BJP that protects the people and it protects the Hindutva ideology. So BJP must be voted for cultural nationalism and everything. So this is the opinion of some people. And some people believe that the workers, the employees should get salaries and wages in a respectful way, and they get their bonuses and working conditions, good working conditions, only if they vote for the communist parties. So this is how a good number of families are affiliated to communist parties also. From generations together, the family votes for the communist parties. So family is also another important factor that influences the political system, that influences the electoral system and political system. In fact, certain families also used to have a good number of leaders coming from the families. So those families used to have a very good influence in many number of that family members, and also the caste groups belong to that family. For example, in Haryana, the Jats have giant families. So all the giant families used to have great leaders like Charan Singh, Devi Lal, Bansi Lal. So these are the leaders that belong to Jat community, and they used to have joint families. So all the families used to support that particular political party. And likewise in Punjab, we have Sikhs. Sikhs always used to support the Akali Dal. The Akali Dal is supported by great leaders like Prakash Singh Badal, Sudhir Singh Barnala, Gurcharan Singh Tohra, Talwandi, Master Tara Singh, Fateh Singh. So these are the great leaders of Akali Dal. So still, certain families are affiliated to Akali Dal because from the beginning, they have a habit of voting only for that political party, not to other political party. Likewise, in South India, we have DMK, Anna DMK, Telugu Desam Party. So these are the parties which are established by great leaders like Anna Durai, M.G. Ramachandran, N.T. Ramarao. Likewise, in Telangana, we have TRS Party. So these parties used to have great leaders, and many families used to vote for these families, for these political parties. That's how family is also an important political factor that influences the electoral system and political system. Thank you, friends. In tomorrow's class, we'll be discussing about the first chapter, Indian politics and Indian political process, and in which we'll also discuss various issues relating to Indian politics, and also what are the social and economic factors that influence the Indian political process. And likewise, we'll be also discussing about various national commissions, statutory commissions, and non-statutory commissions that are there that influence the Indian society. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We will meet you again tomorrow by the same time from 4:30.
Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
Nama?
Thank you,
Do
sir.
you have any doubts?
No doubts.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I request you to interrupt me in the middle if you have any doubt. I'll try to solve your doubts as early as
Okay, sir.
frequently. Please don't hesitate to interrupt me. You can interrupt me at any time, and you can also ask me to discuss certain points that I have left. You can so we must also read this from the examination point of view also. So you please keep these things in your mind. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Anybody got the fourth semester books? Hello. All are there?
No అక్క మాకు ఇవ్వలేదు.
మాకు కూడా
You don't
ఇవ్వలేదు.
have?
నో.
నాకు ఇచ్చారు.
తెచ్చుకున్నాం నేను.
How can we study then?
ఇవ్వలేదు.
I bought already. We bought from the university.
You got?
Yeah. We bought the books from the university, ma'am.
మీ స్టడీ సెంటర్ ఎక్కడ?
Brainpatnam.
కుక్కట్పల్లి.
మాది హన్మకొండ కేడిసి. మాకు ఇంక ఇవ్వలేదు.
No, the books are first.
At what time you take the? At what time you take the books?
It's not related to the study center. It's related to the university. The books will be available at the university.
University, I know that, but at which date?
From tomorrow, it will be available by morning 10. It starts.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
4th, 5th, 6th.
No. Now presently you can take fourth sem books. If you want to collect all the books, you can collect, but they gave
Yes,
only till fourth
that's
sem
why I'm
books.
asking, sir. Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Chalo, come on. Shall we leave? Okay.